Hi, besties. You've found your community bestie to share thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love,
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun, and have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate. He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with two women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie. Allegedly allegations. And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my God. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, someone's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo. Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me today. It's Thursday, April 24th, and we are covering Summer House, which has turned into the Lexi Wood and Jesse Solomon show. Would you believe it? Now, Paige was on Watch What Happens Live last night, finally did her appearance. And like I said, I think she played this correctly. She waited until basically we were all kind of, over it. And she did answer a few questions where, yes, she does agree that, yeah, the breakup was one-sided with Craig. She also said, in reaction to Kyle's assessment of calling Craig a liar, she said that was on point. Wow, that was a big statement. And she said a few other things, but really, oh, yes, she did also say that it is true, according to her, that she was the breadwinner comparatively in their relationship, but mostly due to the fact that she works more than Craig with the podcast that she has with Hannah, obviously. Have you heard of Giggly Squad? They do it weekly and they do the tour. They do a lot of things. She makes appearances quite often, things like that. So she did say that essentially that was the reason for that. And yeah, she's doing fine, friends. And I think Craig is as well. She's happy for him that he's seeing a new girl, that it seems to be going well for him. She's like, that's great. That's what I want for him. So, all in all, it's not going to be the end of all of this, though. Obviously, we still have many more episodes of Summer House. Now, they are filming the reunion today. They are. And surprisingly, Amanda has first chair opposite Paige, who also has first chair. And we've got Lexi and Jesse way down toward the ends of the couch. So, a little curious about that. But because we've had so much content of the two of them, have we not? Yes. Anywho, let's go ahead and get on into it, besties. If you are watching on YouTube, please be sure and join the comment section. Have chit chats with each other and like the video, subscribe, do all the things. If you're listening on audio, would love it if you share this little old podcast that could with some friends. We're trying to grow here. Growth. That's what we're in for. Okay. We start with West and Jesse driving down together because, as they always do, and Jesse points out that Sierra said bye to West without completely smacking his hand away from touching her, which they consider a win. They joke about Sierra's cat Jasper and how Sierra's a MILF as his mama, but Jesse says Lexi told him he can't say those type of things anymore. I don't believe you, Jesse. And that she said, you should want to change your behavior to protect us. Yeah, she meant like, don't tell your friend that you share a summer house with that you would have dated her if you had gotten there on time last year. Oh, and I don't know. Don't have your Fred Flintstone hoovered. During a threesome, mind you. Anywho, Wes says, though, hey, that makes sense. And Jesse allows that and says it's called growing up. Wouldn't you know? In confessional, Jesse says, I've made a lot of concessions to try and make this work. I've told one of my best girlfriends not to touch my arm. I'm unfollowing hot girls on Instagram. I'm hoping for smooth roads ahead. They call Carl Beast. Why are straight men so obsessed with being beasts? Like, y'all went from hunting them to just dying to be one. We find out from Sea Beast that Schwartz Beast slash Tom Beast slash Schwartz Nation, that was a tongue twister for me, is going to be here this weekend. Y'all could have just said Tom Schwartz, but okay. We find out this is the week that Amanda has launched her swim line, and she's a little overwhelmed by the wonderful amount of interest. Obviously excited, but the pressure is on here. Schwartzy shows up, and it's so random to me that he's actually friends with these people. They are around the same age, though, so okay. It makes more sense. He tells Carl and Kyle that this weekend is actually going to be a good one because this time he's not secretly divorced, mired in controversy, and hopefully he's not bleeding from any holes. Which the first two that are mentioned there are regarding when he went on Winter House, which was filmed right smack dab in the middle of Scandival, and he was dealing with his divorce with Katie. And then the third is from when he and Katie had filmed for Summer House. Stassi was also there, and this was like 6 years ago. And his, as my child, or we called it in our house, his booty butt was having some serious issues. And well, he was bleeding rectally. So Katie had to take him to the hospital. I mean, listen, if it was going to happen to anyone, it was going to happen to Schwartz. And y'all, oh my God, speaking of, if it's going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to XYZ person. It's also going to happen to me. Have y'all ever heard of botox flu? Yes, you heard me right, botox flu. I did not know this existed, okay? I told y'all I got my botox done for the first time in over a year on Tuesday. And yesterday, at the end of the day, I'm going, my arms and chest are aching and I am shivering, okay? Nauseous. And I'm like, please, dear Lord and Savior of the universe, do not let me be getting sick again. Please, God. Now, apparently it's my body's immune response to Botox. Yes, I know it's a poison. Yes, I know I'm injecting a poison into my body. What do I expect? Leave me alone. I don't want to look old. I'm 36. I want to look 30. Anywho, that was a miserable night. I had to sleep in a sweatshirt and long pants. And y'all, if you knew anything about me, I need it ice cold. I need it in ice box in my room. And I can't ever wear pants when I sleep. They have to be shorts and like just a t-shirt. No, I was bundled up, miserable. And I was so nauseous this morning. I mean, all in the name of youth. Now, listen, I am not as bad as Kim Kardashian, who has said she would actually eat poop every day if it meant she would look younger. Anywho, Gabby, Lindsay, and Lexi show up, as well as Sierra, who seems to be consistently driving out by herself. And Wes and Jesse are the last to arrive. Jesse goes in to give Sierra a hug and a little over, towing the boundary line of a friendship kiss. But she tells him to just give her a fist bump. And she's like, you told me not to touch you. So Jesse goes over and gives Lexi a big hug and a kiss. And in confessional, Sierra says, you swerve me, I'm going to swerve you. He's worried about me touching him, but he needs to be worried about where he's putting that toe. Facts, babes, facts. The amount of boxes at the front door, though, y'all, that is truly wild. Why aren't you taking them in? I want to know what's in them. I'm nosy. Open them up. Who's it for? Is my name on it? If it's not, whose name is on it? What's in there? Can I shake it? The girls are throwing a Snoozefest party. Super cute, very on brand, and it's going to be a boys' night out while the girls spend the night in crafting and prepping for the party. Now, Schwartz is going to be staying in Imrul's room since he's not there this weekend. Apparently, he's at another play party, which, Danielle, it's not a play date party. It's a different type of playing. X-rated. They all joke that maybe Schwartz should wear a condom in Imrul's room. And it's, while I personally am a little over the constant banging, threesome, foursome, big play parties, I just want to get it in all the time type of thing, it is starting to feel a little mean toward Imrul. You know, he's the only man of color in the house. We've barely gotten to know him, and I don't know whose fault that is, but I I don't know. It's feeling wrong on a certain level, and I do understand where a lot of them are coming from, but at the same time, I don't know. Try to get to know him. It shouldn't have had to be Kyle forcing that one day, you know? I personally would like to know a little bit more about him, even more than what that one Redditor put up, where they said that he's actually this really fantastic guy. And yes, the sexual escapades is a large portion of who he is, but it's not at all every part of who he is, which I would imagine it's not. So, anywho, the guys are now in Schwartz's temporary room / Emerald's room with them deciding to reenact Toegate. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like calling it Toegate is making it more than it was, even though it was 1000% a thing. I don't know. Can we call it the Fred Flintstone fling? I'm very obsessed with Flintstoning this. But Jesse shows and tells them that Imrul and the two girls were supposedly under the covers laying the correct way on a bed, with Jesse's head at the foot of the bed and his feet at the head of the bed. And now that I see the size of the bed and how much room there was with Jesse and Schwartz on it, yeah, the bed's tiny. And for Jesse to go hop on this bed when there were 3 people already on there in the middle of doing sexy things is so gross, presumptuous, and weird of him because he was not invited. He decided he was just going to go check it out. And so also get your effing shoes off of Schwartz's bed. And here I am defending old Schwartzy. I mean, Schwartz is barefoot all the time. He's got those, floor ticklers out all the damn time. So I would think he would find it more offensive than anyone. But yet again, Jesse claims that it was Imrul who said, suck his toe. When it was Jesse, again, in these playbacks, who was like, suck a toe. And I'm hard. You dirty little hamster liar. Unless there was something that editing left out. But he claims Imrul said it and that he was like, yeah, suck my toe. If Lexi had not already gotten the full-blown ick, not icky, because she likes that word, but ick from all of this at this point, that would have given me the ick more than anything. He also claims he didn't know the toe sucking was that toe sucking in general was a thing and that it was just a second of it. So then what were you doing in there for 37 minutes, Jesse? And yes, toe sucking would be a thing because it is mimicking putting something else in the mouth. And I'm just so perturbed by you, Jesse. I don't even want to think about that. It's the same thing as someone sucking on someone's finger in the middle of sexy time. Get out of here. How you can pretend to be so ignorant is beyond me. He tells Schwartz that Lexi found out about it all at the kickball game and wasn't happy, so he proclaims, tonight I'm going to be a good boy, and the boys will have fun and guide Carl's cockadoodle toward a lucky lady. Aren't you so excited? Let's hope it's not soft, because that's all Carl wants is softness and tenderness. The boys are at dinner and the girls are doing a girl dinner, with Lexi saying that Jesse has already texted her when the boys have been gone probably a total of 30 to 45 minutes. Max, I'm going to say. This prompts Amanda to ask her what the deal is with her and Jesse and if being exclusive means that they're boyfriend and girlfriend. But Gabby lets her know, look, we millennials, we got to get some of our answers from TikTok. And actually being exclusive and being boyfriend and girlfriend are 2 different things. TikTok, educational. Lexi tells them that when she was at his house, he told her that exclusive is not really any different. And it's like you're my girlfriend. Oh my God. So then why isn't he calling you that, sweet pea? But she says there's still a transition time of them still getting to know each other. Yeah, no kidding. You've barely known each other 6 weeks. And it's Jesse. And you're 26. At the boys' dinner, Jesse asks Carl how his drive with Sierra was to Montauk the last weekend. with Jesse then asking if there were no OTPHJs. And who says we don't learn new things watching these shows? I mean, they are so educational because we get to learn that means over the pants handy. Fantastic. Obviously, Carl says no. And it's interesting how the camera immediately pans over to West when West, let's be completely real, I don't think West gives a flying F what Sierra is doing or not doing with Carl's pants. But Carl says he finds Sierra gorgeous, obviously. Yeah, Carl, we know you're in love with her. It's fine. Who isn't? Okay. Jesse brings up how at the Hope Lodge event that he and Sierra were cracking jokes and that she kept touching me. Oh, please. Okay. And that he was like, hey, whoa, just as a joke, like setting a little boundary. And then when I showed up today, I tried to give her a hug and she was like, Heisman. Ah, shit. There have been way too many straight men on Bravo lately, my friends. I just made a sports reference. God damn it. I need a cleanse. Yeah, you know what? Can someone turn on Queer Eye and follow it up with a Dolly Parton Film Festival? Thank you so much. Kyle asks for a little more context, and Jesse says, basically, I was told that I was being too flirtatious with Sierra the weekend Lexi was gone. With Kyle confirming with Jesse that he was told he was being too flirty and that it wasn't Sierra who said that, but that it was the other people who were witnessing it saying that. And so I do feel like Kyle is trying to point out that he's kind of punishing or kind of putting it all on Sierra when she's not even the one who was doing the chitter chattering about it. And she's not even the one who did anything. It was your ass being inappropriate, sir. Kyle then asks him, do you think it was how you put it in the moment at the event? And all Jesse says is that he's trying to respect Lexi, but doesn't really know what to do. I'll tell you what you can start with, buddy boy. Stop talking shit on her behind her back, you douche canoe. Because also, she said in interviews that Jesse would talk about how much attention West got last year because of his relationship with Sierra. So it's cause for pause to wonder if Jesse has figured out the game and is trying to get that screen time with the storyline of Lexi. So now Jesse wants to play the game. When was the last time everybody had sex? Are you kidding me? So you can just tell everyone about sex with Lexi now? That's all that was, because you're just trying to keep that camera on you. I'm onto you. And you know it's stationed on your giant ass chompers if you're talking about Lexi. But Wes decides that the game should be, what's the most niche adult video category you've enjoyed? I'm not allowed on these platforms to say the PORN word. It's stupid, but whatever. So there we go. But this was also Wes trying to deflect from the obvious times he's been having it out with someone over the summer, because he's apparently still scared to death of Sierra finding out that he would possibly have relations with another female. Okay. So God bless. Carl is just, he's into tan lines. And West's mind is blown, which is wild because I genuinely didn't imagine West to be such a filthy, dirty little gerbil of a man, but he's a straight man in his late 20s. Like, really, what did I expect? In confessional, West says that the tan line category is so Carl because it's somehow still so wholesome, and then lists his own adult film search history and goes on such a long list that must be so incredibly explicit that he has to be bleeped out and even have his mouth blurred from what he is saying. And then he eventually comes right back around to say he thinks his taste is too far gone to make his way all the way back to tan lines. And I don't know why. I am so skeeved out, but I just am. Maybe because it's West, because after what he did with Sierra, he just gave me the ultimate ick. The girls who are so incredibly wholesome at the house, doing the girliest crafts possible, making giant bows, giant dream catchers, and also lanterns for the Snoozefest party decor. Love it. Loves it. And doing their entire girl dinner. Amanda, Sierra, and Lindsay go outside, with Sierra asking Amanda what her thoughts are on the whole boyfriend and girlfriend conversation that was had with Lexi. And Lindsay makes the point that Jesse keeps secretly telling Lexi that he considers her his girlfriend, with Amanda adding how Jesse keeps coming to them with things he's worried about and considers yellow flags, with the flashbacks of him saying in every possible way that he thinks Lexi is just crazy jealous. She notices that the conversations they're all having with Lexi and Jesse are individually very, very different. So Sierra asks if they think Lexi is aware of the red flag, yellow flag talk. I mean, obviously not. She's trusting him, but I think Jesse's just too tall to place any actual trust in. Like, genuinely, there's less oxygen up at that altitude his head lives in. So he's not really able to hold thoughts or secrets in because it's just too hard to even think with the lack of oxygen. And his teeth take up a lot of space there, too. So in confessional, Amanda says she feels like she's in pretty much just like a shit position because, on the one hand, she loves Jesse and how he feels comfy enough to confide in them. But on the other hand, she feels like she's taking part in talking shit on Lexi. And if it were Paige in Lexi's position, she would absolutely give Paige every single detail. And we cut to Gabby and Lexi inside, where Lexi is saying that Jesse is just texting her gibberish, with them concluding that the boys are getting shwasted. And yes, they did. They come in sometime after 2:45 a.m. and Schwartz apparently has the Midas touch with this door because he has now been the one and only person who could open the front door on the first try. Jesse goes and gets all over Lexi, who's clearly sleeping and just breathing the Jack Daniels and Patron and club breath on her, telling her he missed her so much. He snook on baby girl Koala Bell. He infantilizes her so damn much. West is filming TikToks about what it looks like to come home at 3 a.m. with the boys. And I have to note, y'all, I have to make a note here because no gatekeeping here, besties. Goodles, mac and cheese. This is not an ad, although Goodles, hit me up, babes. Love your mac and cheese so much. It is the best boxed mac and cheese. There are so many flavors. They have like hatch chili. They have twist my parm. They have like just straight up cheddar classic. They have so many, and they have tons of veggies in them, hidden. Like, you can't taste them. You don't see them. So, I mean, while I think it's important, especially with the kids and stuff, to really encourage them to straight up eat the vegetables they see, if you're struggling, get them Goodles. They are the best. I'm telling you. You will never be able to go back. Kyle is turning on music and somehow manages to turn it on in his and Amanda's bedroom. So she has to call him and tell him to knock it the F off because it woke her up. She was so much nicer than I would have been. Oh my God, you guys. Because if you were waking me up at that hour, or if you do at all, you're doing so at your own risk. Like, you need to sign a waiver. And the risk may not be full blown at your own life, but if you're a man doing it, your manhood, as in anything from the waist down, good luck. It may not be there in the morning. And Schwartz seems like he has now passed out with the lights on and his head in a suitcase. And I would fully believe that somehow this man would have at least managed to pass out in that position for like 2 hours. And yet somehow he's the first man up. Sierra and Amanda FaceTime Paige to see how she's doing and when she'll be there. In confessional, Paige says she feels that she's someone who is very in touch with her body and aware, really, when something feels off, but that the last couple of months, she just really has not been feeling like herself. She's saying, I've been anxious before. Obviously, everyone gets nervous in situations. And I've never felt like, oh my God, I have to go to a doctor for this. But I'm getting to a point where my hands are numb, and that's a problem. Oh my God. I know that feeling, honey. I know it. It starts with the tingling in the hands and then the lips. And sometimes my hand will feel like it's just like floating on its own. Do you remember? I don't know if y'all ever did this when you were kids, that game. Did you play this game when you were a kid where your friend would push down on the top of your hand and you would push against their hand with the back of yours, and you just like hold that for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And then you let go and your hand just starts floating. Anyone else? Yeah. Anyway, that hasn't happened to me for a while, but friends, the day's still young and my anxiety has been a real party girl lately. She likes to whoop it up, especially when it's bedtime. But they hop off of this FaceTime as soon as possible because the trampoline needs to be built outside. Duh. Aren't backyard trampolines supposed to be a real son of a biscuit eater to put together? I thought they were. Anyway, Sierra comes down to the kitchen where Lexi, Jesse, and Carl are wearing, and she's wearing this hot as hell little Baywatch red shorts onesie. My God, Sierra, you are just, huh. And that's twice in 1 week I've been able to make a Baywatch reference on this podcast. Carl's eyes are literally, he's like a cartoon. He is Wile E. Coyote that just got struck with a Cupid anvil. And he's got little Sierra faces, hearts, and butterflies just twirling, spinning around his head. But no, Carl. No. Bad, Carl. Bad. No, sir. She tells them she needs the boys to come help set up a giant trampoline. And Carl is immediately like, yes, ma'am. At your service, ma'am. Did I forget to tell you that you look extra soft and tender today, ma'am? Jesse starts to say to Sierra that as her friend of X years, I would ordinarily, but Sierra just cuts him right off and says, I already know you're not going to do anything, Jesse, so you can just chill. And this is as we see West on the sofa playing with a giant ball of yarn, like he's just this little kitty cat. West is definitely one of those orange cats, if he is one. Very simple. But maybe his strategy here is to try and make Sierra think of her cat Jasper when she looks at him and just magically change her feelings from disgust to adoration and love. But Jesse is all bent out of shape because Sierra cut him off. And West is over there on the sofa just going, welcome to the team, brother. Sucks when Sierra's mad at you, huh? I'm cool with it, though, because she's probably more pissed at you than she is at me now. So good luck, pal. Paige arrives in what must be a $2,000 Uber because, my God, that's like a 2-hour drive at least. And then she ends up going outside to help everyone set up for the Snoozefest party. In the living room, Lexi asks Jesse if he's excited for the party, but he tells her, I haven't gotten excited for the party yet. Actually, no. Amanda and Kyle are also showing why they are married and why they work at least as much as they do, because they both love to eavesdrop. And listen, I do too. I am a nosy little bitch, which is what Amanda's doing in a much more inconspicuous way than when Kyle tries to. But when Lexi asks Jesse why he's not excited, he tells her, Sierra's being mad weird towards me. Which, wait a minute here, buddy. Wait a minute. If Lexi was really mad and really made an enormous deal behind closed doors with you about your flirtations with Sierra, why the F would you tell her that you're not even excited about this party just because she's being weird with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you feel comfy enough to say that if she really was up your ass about your boundary pushing and crossing those boundaries in your friendship with Sierra? This does not make a sense to me. Thank you so much. But he gets up to go help with this trampoline setup. Okay. So Lexi comes outside to sit with Gabby and Amanda, and Lexi, sweetie pie, girly pop, I'm doing my damnedest to give you more credit. But when you say things like you did at the kickball game, I didn't know I sweat. And the more you sweat, the abs are coming in. You make it a wee bit more difficult to prop you up against the infantilizing when you make it clear you don't understand basic bodily functions like sweat. I'm just saying. I also wonder what she thinks pee is for. Amanda asks Lexi if she and Jesse are okay. And when Lexi tells her that they're great, Amanda says she only asks because she knows that things are weird with Jesse and Sierra, who is currently doing cartwheels with her perfect Victoria's Secret tatas just bouncing around. So every straight man, and forget it, every man, he just has to be a man in that 1 mile radius is going to crash a car or accidentally stab themselves with a screwdriver. I mean, geez, I probably would end up crashing my car seeing that too. Amanda tells Lexi, but also with you, it's like twice now he's been talking about these yellow flags. One was about she's asked me not to comment on girls' photos. And then last weekend, it was you asked him about all these girls that he followed and he unfollowed them. And then you made a comment about how he unfollowed them. Lexi tells her that neither of those things are true and says, one, with the following girls thing, it was after Toegate. I get so many DMs about red flags that I should be aware of with Jesse. Okay. And that he started following all these girls since the two of them started talking. Really? Did you really do that, Jesse? Because I'm just wondering, did you just have an extra long toilet session and just tap that follow button on like 30 women because you had some time to kill after a regrettable night of Taco Bell the night before? Lexi continues by saying, and then you know what? I was like, maybe I should actually give weight to things that people are saying. Amanda clarifies that it wasn't a situation where Lexi was essentially stalking his social media profile, right? Like, but rather that she was getting a bunch of messages warning her about Jesse. The commenting on the other girls' Instagrams is brought up, and Lexi says that she told him, all I said was, I want you to hype the girls up nonstop, but maybe don't be like, oh my gosh, you're the hottest bitch I've ever seen. I want to marry you, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't really feel like that part was all that big of a deal when it's just kind of his personality. But the part that is a bigger deal is how he was acting towards Sierra and the conversation he had with her. However, for Lexi, this is a boundary, and that's okay too. She says she suggested to him, sorry, y'all, my little speech impediment with SH words. Like, anyway, it's a little difficult for me. I get too many in a row. Damn it. Anyway, she says she suggested he say something more like, damn, you're looking great today. I mean, apples and oranges here at this point, babe. Amanda tells her, it hurt my heart and soul, but I understood. Lexi tells her that she still wants him to hype them up, but Amanda clarifies for her to just do it in a different manner. In confessional, Lexi says that she wishes that Jesse had just come to her with these issues so that they could have an adult relationship conversation. And see, also, you really I don't know, referring to it that way still makes it hard. I'm tired. I don't want them to infantilize you anymore, sweet baby. But as I call you, sweet baby, I'm infantilizing you. Jesus Christ, look at that. Okay, girl, we got to stop infantilizing you. So stop saying things like, I want it to be like a real grown-up relationship. Just how about a mature, healthy relationship? Anyway, she says that instead I feel like he's told only his perspective, but there's a whole other side of his actions that he completely left out, and that she feels extremely misunderstood, and that it's really just such a shitty situation, especially from the guy she's dating. Amanda tells her that she didn't want to make it a whole thing, but Lexi says she appreciates that she did bring it up. With both Gabby and Amanda admitting that hearing the other side, as in Lexi's side of this story, it's really like an entirely different scenario than what they thought they knew of it. Gabby says that it's especially eye-opening to hear Lexi's side that really isn't filled with the bits and pieces Jesse uses to fit his own narrative. Lexi then points out that she's not the one doing anything to be called into question, that it's actually her who shouldn't be trusting him, and tells them that he's been FaceTiming, calling, sending her videos nonstop, saying that it's almost to the point too much. And I was like, I need to be able to live. Amanda says she thinks he's extremely jealous, won't admit it or talk about it. So now he's trying to paint Lexi as the jealous one. See, Lexi, girl, you got to talk to the ladies in their 30s. We know. We're still young enough to understand, but also old enough to be like, don't put up with the bullshit. Get your advice from the girls in their 30s. I'm telling you. We still don't totally have our shit together, at all, but at least we know a little something. At this point, Lexi says, how about F the yellow flags? I have huge red flags for you. Girlfriend, the love bombing. See, I almost said baby girl because I realized I was infantilizing her myself. So I'm calling myself out on it, and I'm going to stop. Girlfriend. Who do I call girlfriend? Girl. Anyway, inside, Kyle asks Schwartz about the fertility test he did when he was with Katie and tells him he has a kit he has to send in. Kyle was hurting from not being allowed to release or relieve himself for 2 to 5 days prior to sending the kit in. I swear to God, no, come on. We're not still pretending like we are prepubescent or adolescent males anymore, are we? Can we stop? Stop. No one believes that you are so pent up with sexual frustration that you can't go 2 to 5 days without touching it or yourself in that way. And even though it's clear he and Amanda aren't ready for children right at this moment, he's curious about his fertility levels, adding in confessional, I probably stood too close to the microwave. I don't know what kind of impact that has. Well, if it does have any type of impact, actual impact, That does explain a lot, Kyle, and it's not about your little swimmers. Kyle then asks Schwartz if he wants kids and if he and Katie were ever close to it, which, yes, he does want kids. And Schwartz says they went to the fertility clinic, which we get a flashback of, where Schwartz found out his swimming little deuteronis had weird shaped heads. I I don't know why. Why do I imagine they were just like blockheads or something and like Google heads? Anywho, he tells Kyle that it was roughly a year before he and Katie got divorced that they did that, and admits that they weren't trying to have children, but it was definitely part of the plan, asking Kyle if he and Amanda have a timeline. And Kyle tells him that he knows Amanda doesn't want kids right now and that it's less of a matter of if, just more of a when. But Kyle goes to his room to research the tan line niche category, basically. Jesse goes into his, well, it's Lexi's room technically, but okay, to lay on top of her when she clearly needs some space from him. He can tell something is off and asks if she's okay and what's wrong. But Lexi, girlfriend, stop calling her girlfriend, girl, you got to tell him. Yes, something is wrong. I'm not ready to speak to you about it at this moment. But she tells him nothing. I'm okay. I'm fine. So he asks her if it has to do with him, but she says it's fine and that they can talk about it later. And he asks if he did something, but she's just like, I don't know. Everyone's pissed off at Jesse Solomon, it seems, and no one is asking any longer, what would Jesse Solomon do? He goes outside saying that something's wrong with Lexi, wanting to get some sympathy from West, and that he thinks it's related to him, but he doesn't know what it was. Oh, poor baby. But the girl's giant trampoline bed is such a cute idea. I want to know who came up with this. It's brilliant. Paige and Amanda lay on the bed with Paige joking that it took them 8 years to be taken seriously and get a full-blown giant bed like this, where everyone will be getting in bed and laying down. In confessional, Paige says, having a Snoozefest party is what I've worked for my whole life. I've worked my whole life to get everyone in bed. Mwah, chef's kiss. And Wes tries climbing on the bed at the bottom while they're asking why he keeps trying to get in bed with them. And he says, I'm like the dog at the end of the bed. And okay, fine. Fine, West. You're funny sometimes. I'll give you that. I'm still mad at you. He asks them if they know why Jesse's in trouble again with Lexi. And Amanda just goes, it's probably my fault, which Paige cracks up just going, yes. Amanda tells him how she told Lexi about the yellow flag conversations that Jesse has had with the other girls. And Wes brings up that Lexi made Jesse unfollow girls on Instagram. Like, come on, that's like a later thing. But Amanda lets him know that Lexi told them she never said that, and how Lexi described receiving DMs about Jesse and that there are two sides to the story and that it sounds as though he's making Lexi out to be jealous when it's actually Jesse acting that way. Then following it up by playing cool, saying passive aggressive things to her about it, and that it's to the point where Jesse is breathing down Lexi's neck constantly. And you know what, West? Okay, I'm not as mad at you now because this seems to get your wheels turning, which I appreciate that you are at least considering another angle here instead of just immediately defending Jesse and making Lexi out to be crazy. I appreciate that you're not just immediately, well, bros before hoes, dude. I appreciate that. He tells them how Jesse was FaceTiming Lexi on the way to the house and that he was already saying before he got off the phone that he's going to call her right back. But Wes was like, we're going to be at the house in an hour. Chill. Paige says she didn't take Jesse as that type, with Wes saying he didn't either. So it's concluded that Jesse is just making Lexi out to be crazy and all over him, while it's more so that Lexi is the one kind of pulling away and certainly not pushing the boyfriend-girlfriend thing, but more so that it's Jesse. And let's be so for real. It was just because Jesse wanted to sleep with her and thought that was the only way to keep going with her and also to keep the camera on him. Time to get ready for the party. And honestly, I don't understand half of these costumes, except the trio of bedbugs costumes are so cute. And I'm wondering if Paige had them custom made for them because she came with garment bags. I mean, I really think she had them custom made. I do. And God bless Linz in her cute little teddy bear outfit, asking the bar cart bartenders to make her a non-alcoholic Aperol spritz with all of her ingredients at the ready. Gabby's such a cute little sheep. She is cute. And now our Betty Bye Bugs have a cute little photo shoot. And oh my God, these 3 women are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I can't with them. I can't. I'll buy whatever it is you 3 are selling. God damn it. And I'm not entirely sure what Lexi is emulating here with her white furry bikini top and the white muff she's sporting. She comes outside and Jesse asks her if she's upset with him. And when she says yes, he asks if she wants to go to talk with him. As they go over to this giant bed, she tells him that it's like she could be actually on the verge of being straight up pissed at him. You watch out. That girl's pissed. She's mad. She tells him there have been a couple of things brought to her attention and that it feels like he's low-key talking shit about her behind her back, which he high-key is. Is high-key a thing? High-key? That sounds weird. He asks what the issue is that's been brought to her attention today. And it's very much in a, so what's the issue today? Is it a different one from yesterday and the one on Thursday? Or is it similar to the one on Wednesday and Tuesday? She tells him about the yellow flag conversations that have been relayed to her and that he's making her out to be a crazy, jealous girl. And says, meanwhile, you have a fat ass red flag of somebody sucking your toe. If they had stayed together, anytime he pissed her off, she'd be like, well, you got your toe sucked. he was going to be doomed after that. But he's going to also defend it as a dumb drunk decision and joke that he didn't think she would care about it. Oh, I'm sorry. And that it was a joke. Sir, this whole statement, this whole line of defense, I should say, goes over about as well as it would telling Paige DeSorbo to go pick out her entire wardrobe from the clearance rack at Kohl's. It's not going to happen. She brings up that she's been told about him acting single when she's not there and how the girls have told her that she shouldn't be his girlfriend until he stops the flirting at the level he does. And friends, get ready. The most sophomoric and high school boy responses incoming. That's a 3, 2, 1 because Jesse goes, dude, I can't control what my idiot friends say. I mean, my God. No, you can't control that, but you can control yourself, you Dorcas. Trying to get more creative with my insults. She says she knows that, but it's about how he's making them feel and that his actions are making other people feel icky with how they are showing he's not taking this relationship seriously in any way. Because during the week, it's as though they're super serious. So when it comes time for the weekend and she hears this shit he's doing, it's giving her complete and total emotional whiplash. Then Jesse tells her, everything is moving so fast right now that I just feel like our relationship is so fragile. And she throws in, then we should slow down. But then he goes, like every time something small happens, I'm just like, is she going to be done with me? Oh, you poor sweet baby puppy dog, Jesse. Oh, it's so sad. She asks him if she has done anything to make him feel the way she's feeling at the moment. And he hems and haws for a moment himself and goes, not that I can think of. Oh, that must be so hard for you. Just being called out and bested. She reminds him that that's because she's not done anything to make people talk about her flirting with anyone or anything at all. And lets him know that he does these things that cause her to feel insecure in their relationship. And she doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone she can't trust. She concludes the bits of info she's received have given her reason to question him. And that because he's continuously given her reasons to question him on his own, she's going to start believing more of what people are telling her. He now just goes, this is all just making me resent my friends. But she reminds him that it's you, as in it's him saying it all. So basically, dude, if you weren't talking so much shit, then they wouldn't have anything to say. You doofus magoo. He then says, but like, dude, what, do you want me to be a robot and just not talk to my friends? If they ask me what's going on, I tell them. Like, I'm an open book. Oh my God. Jesse, you can be an open book about yourself, but you're making her an open book when she never agreed to be one with everyone else. Like, you're sharing her insecurities and seemingly exaggerating things she confided in you that bother her. She says that's annoying he'd say that and not what she's asking. But the man baby tries to make it seem as though she's expecting him to have no emotions or big feelings. When it's not about emotions or lack thereof, but about your giant ass mouth spouting out things that may not be accurate about her. Her standpoint is that the others feel it appears as though he wants to hook up with someone, so she feels embarrassed and like it's making her look stupid. And isn't that it though? He plays in your face all week, then comes out to the house on the weekend with you and plays in your face in a completely different way all over again on camera. Ugh. He's gaslighting you. To me, that's gaslighting. Okay. And I know it's a buzzword, but truly. He says that the others won't just say that stuff to his face, though, and now he's going to have to go talk to him. It's all your fault, Lexi. Her simple ask is that he doesn't do weird shit to betray her trust, making her look stupid, and to not talk shit behind her back. I mean, it is not much, but for someone like Jesse, it is. So aside from the obvious that he's been love bombing and gaslighting you, girl, you truly into believing this relationship is more than it is, I think it also just straight up comes down to the fact that y'all are not compatible. He tells her that he knows they have a great connection and that he thought they were gonna leave this weekend boyfriend and girlfriend. Get the F out of here, Jesse Solomon, trying to hold the label over her head as punishment for confronting you about things that bother her. I cannot with your ass. Go floss your giant ass teeth because there's some bullshit in there. He says he's not giving up on this, but I'm proud of her for saying she isn't going to beg for a relationship because she only wants one that she's happy in and where she can trust the other person. See, Jesse, this is what happens when you date a girl in their 20s. They know they've got plenty of time to find their person. And when they're as hot as Lexi, honey, she will find another tree to climb that is not you. Okay? And she will have a better time climbing that tree. Carl makes his attempt at flirting with Sierra, asking if she spots any guys there that pique her interest, but that's a no. In confessional, he says that while he's hung out with a couple of girls this summer, they're not Sierra. And sorry, this kills me. I'm cringing. Please, it's almost like it's not encroaching on Shepro's territory, but it's causing me harm mentally, emotionally, and physically. Carl continues on in his confessional. Being single Carl and just wanting to overshare and communicate, I feel like I should just tell her. As we're getting shots of them under twinkle lights, looking aesthetically like a gorgeous couple and like it's the setup of a rom-com. No, Carl, bad dog. Be a good boy and go find another tall, cute girl that preferably isn't Lil, but bad dog. And I'm allowed to say that because he loves to bark like a dog. Oh, sea beast. Anyhow, he adds in this confessional that when she walks into the room, he's putty because, yeah, she's a babe. Do not start the babe. Babe, 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 babe. Again, dear effing Lord. Lindsay and Paige sit for a chat, and Lindsay asks Paige what was going on. That Paige came out on Saturday and not on Friday with everyone else. But Paige clearly isn't ready to divulge everything going on with her and Craig to Lindsay. So she just says it's been anxiety and that she needed a day off to sleep and let her body wake up whenever her body decided it was time. And wow, I forget what being able to do that is like. But they notice Jesse and Lexi are still going at it over on the giant bed. And by going at it, I mean not in the way that Jesse wishes they were. Paige asks what Lexi's upset about, with Lindsay explaining how Jesse has been painting a picture of Lexi as that crazy little jealous girl with yellow and red flags waving everywhere, but that Lexi is really just kind of going, what the fuck? He's leaving out half of the story, with Paige saying, look, this dude is not ready. These boys just need to get their shit together. Back over to our momentary lovebirds, Lexi and Jesse. He says he wishes this conversation was ending on a better note, but that he doesn't want to miss the whole party. Jesus, Jesse. Let's just all collectively conclude that we are not going to be asking in this case, what would Jesse Solomon do? Because the immaturity and lack of awareness here, my God. How about, I want to get to a better place, but at this moment, the conversation doesn't feel as though it's progressing. So let's enjoy the party together and have another discussion later. That would have worked a lot better. Paige, Lindsay, and Gabby see that Jesse and Lexi split off directions and call Lexi over, with her telling them that it's frustrating because it's on Jesse to change the things that are happening and that he's consistently making it out to be the friends are who are stirring the pot. See, this is also Gabby is too damn wise for that shit. He's trying to pull because she says, no, absolutely not. We are simply regurgitating what we're being told. In the kitchen, West asks Jesse what happened, and they're both just, I don't know, a pair of little dum-dums, with West looking like Robin Williams cosplaying as the Sandman and truly looking as though he is spiraling and completely freaked out by the idea of a man and a woman having an exclusive relationship. It is truly his kryptonite. As Jesse goes, am I just the biggest idiot ever, or is everything just getting taken out of context so heavily by people that I think are my friends? The girls are saying one thing to me and another thing to Lexi. It's just like, what the fudge? They're just trying to stir shit up and makes me feel like they're not actually my friends. And I do actually believe a tiny part of Wes is just so thrilled for two reasons. One, that it's not him that they're all mad at anymore. And two, that he is seeing the door opening of him getting his fellow single man friend back. Jesse says the whole conversation was bad, which makes him sad because he wants to be having a good time at this party and not arguing with the girl I'm exclusively dating. In other words, he means I want to either be out there prowling around, finding some strange, or basically doing foreplay with Lexi out in public until it's time for everyone to leave and for us to get it in. He tells West how he told Lexi that he thought they were going to leave the weekend boyfriend and girlfriend, but definitely not now. Yeah, I don't think she was wanting that. Jesse mocks her, in my opinion, about asking him if she has ever done anything that would cause him to question the solidity of the relationship. And, well, that's a big resounding no. Then Jesse says, I just feel like I've changed my behavior already and I'm being good. I'm being such a good little boy. I'm a good puppy. Can't you see? I haven't gone and humped Sierra's leg in an entire 2 weeks. But then he goes on saying, and then shit gets brought up from 3 weeks ago and it always comes back to me getting my toe sucked. Which they both, for some reason, still seem surprised that Toegate is still relevant. And isn't that the wildest thing that 3 weeks ago, that is half of your effing relationship. Anyone saying something like, oh, then, it's just been tough because we'll get into it. And then something from 3 years gets brought up, 3 years ago gets brought up, or 3 months ago, not 3 weeks, as though it has been such a long time between then and now. Outside, Lexi tells the girls how grateful she is that they told her about all of this, because if they were in a normal world of not having this share house, she would have never found out about the toe sucking. And Paige points out the hypocrisy that would be going around if the roles were reversed. And could you imagine, though, if either Lexi had that happen to her or if she did that to another guy? Hell no. Then Lexi tells them about last weekend when Jesse told her that the way she was with West that night when West was wasty face was even worse than the weekend she was away, which Paige is like, oh, wow. In confessional, Lexi tells us that she's finally realizing the immense hypocrisy of Jesse and his bullshit. Gabby tells Lexi that Jesse is clearly trying to just make her feel bad for calling him out on this BS. And Lexi thought they'd communicate, move through issues like a normal couple, but obviously not. And if you have to tell someone that early on more than once that a very specific behavior crosses a boundary for you, babe, that's just not it. It's not it. They are not the person for you. And if someone has to be told more than once, then that means you are not the person for them, because they will remember if it's important to them. Just as Paige agrees with Lexi and says that Lexi and Jesse don't have a strong foundation, we cut to the kitchen where Jesse is saying that every time something happens between him and Lexi, he wonders if they're even that close and that their foundation just gets shaken. With West asking the big question here, what foundation? What? You only met like a month ago. And they both agree on that. So Paige ends up asking Lexi if she really likes Jesse. And when Lexi says, I do, Paige is like, making a really though, ew face. And she points out that they've only been in this a month and a half, and that if Lexi isn't fully in it, she should just be like, bye, see ya, goodbye. No more Jesse Solomon. And now it's more of the same, from Lexi saying how Jesse told her he changed so much for her. But Paige lets her know that if someone says they have to change for you, walk away. And you know what? I think that's exactly what Lexi's about to do from what we see next week. And good for her. You go, girl. Yes. All right, besties, that is the end of our Summer House recap. If you're listening on audio, could you do me a giant favor? Please leave a 5-star review with a comment about what you do love about this show. It really is a fantastic and free way to support this show. YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. Do all those things. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe. It's at Besties by Caitlin, Caitlin. And be sure and check out the Pop Culture Besties Etsy merch shop. It's all designed by yours truly. My friends, I hope you have a fantastic, lovely, wonderful weekend. Keep an eye out for that botox flu. Of course. Thank you again for joining. Bye.